90% of all entrepreneurs, all businesses fail after 10 years, right? Now, it doesn't mean that they're making any money, the ones that actually stayed in the business, but you have now grooved in patterns of how you do what you do for so long, a decade plus. You're talking about 10,000 plus hours of how you do what you do, and some of you need to unwind those patterns. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Say aye. So you guys are my favorite because you already have a little gray hair, you got some experience, you've been doing it for 15 years. How many of you are female? All the females. You've raised a husband, maybe two, right? Maybe you got some kids, maybe you got grandkids, I don't know. You with me? Yeah, not that you're aware of. Okay, that's good. But the bottom line is, and like, not that the guys can't be successful, but generally speaking, the women outproduce the men, like hands down, right? Because you're used to multitasking, and it's not that exciting. I mean, but it is impressive, and it's a national stat. You should know. All right, so grab your seats really fast. How many of you are 5 years or less in real estate? Raise your hands. 5 years or less. Okay, stand up. 5 years or less. Okay. So first of all my friends that are in the room that were already standing before, this group is still very excited. Right? They're like, oh my God, this is totally amazing. I've been selling real estate for 3 months. This is rad. I love it. How many of you are like 1 year or less? Raise your hands really high. Like, just remain standing, but 1 year or less. Isn't it exciting? Okay. The failure rate is 87%. Welcome to real estate. But on the flip side, and please remain standing. Tell me your name, my dear. Anastasia? Right, beautiful name. How long in the business? First year. So like 12 months? Less. Okay, so less, like 3 days? Do you have a problem answering questions? 6 months. So here's what's great for you and all of us that are being here. Could you imagine a doctor or an airline pilot or an attorney not getting trained before they did what they did? Just imagine that. Like, has anybody in my life, anybody ever had a surgery before? Can you imagine like the doctor like, hey, I've never done this before, but let's go for it. Like, it's going to be awesome. What are we doing? Brain surgery. What you're doing right now is you're creating the habits of real success. Knowing what to say, knowing how to handle objections, knowing how to sell yourself, knowing how to build rapport, how to connect with a wide variety of people inside this room. This is the perfect place to be learning all those skills. So I want to give you and all of you like a giant, give all of them just a huge round of applause. Huge, 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 huge. All right, now grab your seats. So here's the deal though. If I was your coach, and I today only coach, I think like 6 people. One of them is vying for #1 agent like on the planet. His goal is to do about $4.5 billion in sales with his team. And he works at a brokerage. He does not own his company, but he wants to do $4.5 billion. He'll do this year just under $1 billion in sales. Turn to your buddy and say, $1 billion in sales. Now, well, what's his average sales price? Who cares? Who cares? How many people does he have on his team? A lot. A lot. Right now we have 27. We want to be at 120 people on his team. 120 sales agents on his team. And he works for Coldwell Banker, this behemoth worldwide brokerage. And he's doing it the right way. Great partnership with his brokerage, great partnership with his team, and he's making an absolute fortune. And the best news is he's only been selling real estate for like 12 years. And has only been working with us now for like 8 years. And the first year, if you do the math, right, he started right in the economic downturn. Like, that's how we got started. You with me on this? Which is exciting, right? So the first thing I want to say to all of you sitting inside this room is, what do you think is going to happen, especially for all my, I know there's some peeps from the U.S. So my peeps from the U.S., raise your hands really high so I know where you're at. Okay, so perfect. For all my Canadian friends, who's from Ottawa? Okay, steady Eddie, boring market for 26 years. You with me on this? Congratulations, right? Not a lot of appreciation, just deals all the time, right? Kind of, boring. But the problem is when you have a great, steady Eddie, boring market, you don't have many people that say, I should sell 1,000 homes a year. The entire market's in a coma. All we have to do is raise the level of service just a little bit, and we stand out, and we could absolutely dominate. But what happens is, and I see this around the world, it's not a Canadian thing, it's not a US thing, it's not a Mexico thing, it's not an Australian thing or a European thing, because we have clients everywhere, it's the tall poppy syndrome. Do you guys know the tall poppy syndrome? Right? One person starts to rise above everybody else, and in certain societies, they cut their head off, because we want everybody to be the same. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That doesn't happen in Canada. Some of the most extraordinary real estate professionals on the planet came from Ontario Mid-Atlantic, right? Came out of Vancouver, came out of Calgary. Like, it's unbelievable. So the first thing I want to stress to you is you're not thinking big enough. And if you're in Toronto, who's in like the greater, isn't it funny like to say Toronto, like, because it's such a huge like Toronto now. What is it, like 89,000 suburbs of Toronto? So who's in Toronto, like the GTA, right? Like, so the market has been supposedly about ready to crash for 17 years. How's that working out? Right? It's like, it's going to crash. This is it. It's over. Really? 48 more cranes in the sky. Right? And an economy that's bringing in people and creating business and opportunity left and right. And it's hysterical. I mean, like, first of all, for all my US friends, like, I would wake up every day in 2008, 9, and 10 and go, oh, Canada, thank you for buying all of our shitty homes, right? Because you go to Florida, and it's like, we used to call Florida Southern New York. Now we call it like, basically, it's like, you know, like Southern Toronto. You with me? Because you guys bought everything. But once again, you see all of this stuff happening around the globe, and what I don't see enough of is ambition. I don't see enough individuals saying, screw it, I'm going to do something extraordinary. And I want to stress to all of you inside this room, there's, I don't know, 400 or 500 of you guys here, that there is so much opportunity for you to contribute more, to do more, to help more, to sell more, to make more, whatever your heart's desire. That's the beautiful thing about this business. What you have to be mindful of is, right, are you stoking that fire of ambition, or are you settling because, well, you don't understand my parents. Like, my parents never made more than $30,000 a year. I'm making 80. It scares them. Shut up. Do you know what I mean? I don't think your parents are going to get mad at you for making more money. If anything, they'll be like, good job, now give us some. So I want you to do me a favor. If you're going to write down some notes, I want you to write down in 2020, 3 years, 2020 in 3 years, I want you to write down what would be the most insane amount of income for you to be making in your real estate business. 2020, 3 years from now. What would be the number that, like, literally Revenue Canada would be calling, like, yeah, good job. We're taking half that. We're excited. Keep up the good work. Totally. Hey, I'm in California. It's more like 52%. Yeah, we're trying to compete with you guys. And bad schools and no healthcare. It's really exciting. So what would be like that insane dream income? Right? And by the way, income is not the appropriate thing. Let's call it top line revenue. Let's talk like business people. What's the top line revenue that you want? Income is like if you have a job, right? So what do you want? So how much? Okay, 1 million. So really you want 500,000. Then you have expenses, right? And your expenses are probably going to be at least a third of that, right? So now you're talking about having, like, you know, maybe 300-ish. You with me? Is that enough? Because I want you to be saving at least 20%, and I prefer 20% of your gross, not your after expense net. So now all of a sudden you got another $100,000 in the bank, and you got a couple $100,000 to live on $1 million in gross. It's not enough. Can I tell you why? Because winter is coming. You with me? And if there's, like, for all my longtime coaching clients inside the room, what have I been saying for the last 3 years? And I'm really happy I have been wrong, that winter is coming. It's coming. Save your money. I sat last night with, arguably one of the richest men in all of Canada, and 2 weeks ago with a friend of mine who married the 16th richest person in all of Canada, and all their conversations right now go like this. I'm just stockpiling cash, as much cash as I can get. I'm like, I know why, but I'm like, tell me why. They're like, because you don't make money buying stuff in this market. You make money when it goes like this, and whoever has all the cash takes the ride and goes up here. So you with me? So you have your top line revenue goal. Now put down how much money you're going to save from that. How much money are you going to save from that top line revenue goal 2020? And I mean savings after taxes, after expenses, living, paying off debts, whatever you got to do. How much money saved? Start with a minimum of 20%. You want more? I love it. I love it. It also depends on, where you're at in your life. I have some clients that are, Tom, I need to save 30%. I need to really buckle down and focus because in a couple years I want to go. Make sense? So do me a favor, share with your neighbor right now your top line revenue goal and your savings goal for 2020. What do you got there?
How are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
It's been 10 years since I see you.
Oh man, thank you. Thank you for being here. So John, what'd you write down?
750.
Love it. I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. What do you got, baby?
5.
And how much are you going to save?
20%.
Is how much? You going to write it down? 100 grand. Okay, good. Just want to make sure we can do that. What do you got?
I've got 3 million.
3 million top line.
Top line.
And then how much are you going to save?
1,000.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay. All right, so come back to me. So here's the deal. We're all entrepreneurs in this room, yes? Yes. Okay, I started my first company at 19. I've started 17 different companies, and I've invested in close to 30 different companies. And with the business that we have today, the number one coaching and training Hoobie-Doo, right? So they say, the only thing that matters to me is top line revenue and how much money we save. Top line revenue and how much money we save. And the great mistake of the real estate industry is we get too much recognition for top line revenue. What we collectively should be I don't give a shit if you made $1 million if you spent $1.1 million to get there. You with me on this? Seriously. I mean, some of you get that and some of you are like, he's talking about me. And I'm going to tell you, I was not raised in a household of be frugal and save your money. Right? How many of you guys know who my dad is? You guys know Brian Buffini? Right? My dad came from an environment of typical entrepreneur, you got nothing going on, go get a Rolls Royce. I can't afford a Rolls Royce. Go get a Rolls Royce because then you'll earn enough to pay for it. And then guess what he did? He earned enough to pay for it. And then it was the next thing, to earn enough to pay for it. And then earn enough to pay for it. And guess what? All of a sudden, all you're doing is working to cover your expenses. That sucks shit. Can I be clear with you guys? I don't like that he just cursed. Get over it. Because that's horrible, right or wrong, guys. Like, in my mind, you want to be like, I've got $500,000 in the bank. That should be a minimum number for all of you. $500,000 cash. That should be your goal. I only got 30 now. Good, you have 30. Awesome, get to 500. Because at 500, let me tell you right now, guys, you will sleep better at night. You with me? You'll lay there in bed and you'll be like this, like your spouse will be like not even wanting to have sex, and they'll like 500,000, right? Like, right? I'm telling you, my wife's like, money in the bank is sexy, baby. Just telling you, like, I'm married for 24 years. Like, I'm telling you, it's working. It doesn't matter what you gross. It's all about, at the end of the day, how much money do you save? And if you're not a disciplined saver, I was not a disciplined saver. I had to find an outsourced person that just takes, hey, the check doesn't come to me. It goes to the CPA. And the CPA pays the bills. Your CPA should not be your Uncle Larry, who's kind of good with numbers. You with me on this? You're a business person. Get a good CPA, and you're probably going to pay that person $7,000 to $10,000 a year, but they're going to organize everything for you, pay all your bills, and give you a stipend, and that's how you should live. You with me? Not, oh my God, I just got a $20,000 check. This is awesome. We're going to the Bahamas. Ah. Guys, how do most people retire from real estate? Do you know? Flat? No, like this. They're like, I have a listing I want to pitch, and they just die right in the office. And they're like, oh my God, I want her leads. Can I have his desk? Right? Like all that stuff happens. That's not good. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I could wave a magic wand beyond just wishing all of you health and vitality and your family's health and vitality, it would be that you leave this conference with like, I'm going to save 20% of every dollar I earn for the rest of my life. And I'm just going to stockpile cash. And you know what? Please, let's not have a massive, monstrous, even hiccup recession. But if it happens and you're sitting on $500,000, you're going to be really happy you were in this room on this day and you made that decision. Does that make sense? So do me a favor, pinky promise your buddy right now. Look at him and say, I'm a lean, mean, 20% saving machine. Pinky promise, baby. Pinky promise. All right. So, 30% makes me even happier. I love that. Love it. Move home with your parents, sell more real estate, keep all the cash. All right. So now, that's the first thing I would say to you if I was your coach. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster because I want to get to some Q&A. So you ready? Who has ever watched the Tom Ferry Show ever? Okay, thank you. I love you all. What if I told you that 2 weeks ago I called the vice president of marketing in my business. Her name is Marnie. She's insanely great. And I called her and I said, Marnie, I'm thinking about killing the Tom Ferry Show. And she literally was like, shut the front door. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. She's like, Tom, you're just an entrepreneur. You're bored. You just want to change things for changing things. Shut up and do the Tom Ferry Show. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you give me some data? That would make me feel better. We use data to make decisions. Data-driven, consensus-based, meritocracy. Like, that's how we run our company. And so I say, well, what's the data? And she said, well, what if I told you that the average person watches this many shows, that we get this many views, and that we now have 10 years of data of people watching the shows and then making decisions. She goes, it's the single greatest thing you ever did. And she goes, and I know you weren't even smart enough to know what you were doing when you did it. And I'm like, you're right. She goes, but you were dumb enough to do it. And because of that, now we get phone calls from YouTube and Google like, hey, keep up the good work. We're excited. You want some help? But more importantly, guess what happens? We get phone calls every day that go like this. Hi, I'd like to sign up for coaching. I just watched this. I like Tom. I understand you guys. I know what you stand for. I know what you don't stand for. I know what you're all about. Is he really that goofy? Like, is that in his office? Where's he shooting these shows? Like, all these funny little questions, and then they sign up. Now, you know what that's like? That's like getting come list me calls. Does that make sense? Who would like way more come list me calls? Like, way more. Now, what's great about it, and I know why the vast majority of you will not do video, is because you're afraid of the person you're going to lose. What if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't like me? What if they don't like my style? They don't like red hair? My glasses are wrong? Like something like that, some BS story, right? But here's the deal. I do video because the ones that call, they already like me. Does that make sense? So I don't have to meet with them to discover we don't like each other. How many of you get that? What if I told you we generate 75,000 leads a year? And the vast majority of them are like, yeah, I watched like 6 Tom Ferry shows and I'm totally interested and I'd like to do an appointment. And they schedule appointments with us. You guys with me on this? That's the kind of stuff we want to talk to you about. So I want you to write this down in your notes. Ready? Number one thing for me, video first marketing for now on. Video first marketing for now on. I just took a listing. I'm about to do a just listed card. Nope. Video first. Standing in front of the house. Hey, it's Tom with Banana Real Estate. This is my brand new listing at the corner of Humma Humma and Nana Nana. It's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath, bungalow. It's got a cute little backyard. It's right here in, City X. It's by 14 Starbucks and 3 Tim Hortons and yada, yada, yada. And it's going to be on the market in the next 2 weeks. If you'd like to know more about it, call me at 555-1212. That's 555-1212. And if you've got a friend who's been out looking for property and they just can't find anything, or worse, they find something they fall in love with, and by the time they write an offer, it's already gone, this could be an opportunity to see the property before it hits the market. Let me know. Video first. Turn to your buddy and say, video first. Okay, no, say it again because they didn't hear you. Video first. So what does video first mean? That my marketing now is video first, then it's run a Facebook, then it's do, a Facebook ad, an Instagram, then it's doing a direct mail postcard, then it's doing an email. It's video first, then everything else. Make sense? Okay, now, do you guys want to know why? Do you want to know why I'm on YouTube? playing golf one day, right? Beginning of 2007, my buddy's like, hey man, my friend's gonna join us. He works at Google. I was like, oh, cool, I wanna talk to that guy. I'm like, so what do you do? He goes, I'm in charge of media and content for Google. That's like the Wizard of Oz. I was like, holy shit, like really? Like you're in charge of media and content? Like everything? He goes, yeah. And I was like, would you like me to carry your bag? Do you need a massage? Here's a cocktail. Like drive with me. And I ditched my buddy and I made him drive with me. And like literally, I played the longest round of golf in my life, and I'm actually a pretty decent golfer, but I was like gonna milk every ounce of this. So I was like missing shots, and I'd ask him 5 more questions, and then like screwing up, and like ask him 5 more questions. And about halfway through the round, he's like, we're at Google, man, we want you to win. I was like, well, I appreciate that. And I said to him, hey, this is 2007. I said, I'm about to do a deal with RIM, R-I-M, right, AKA BlackBerry. And I said, they contacted me, they want my podcast to be exclusive on BlackBerry for the entire real estate industry. And the guy at Google looked at me and said, podcasts are stupid. When the guy at Google tells you that everything you've been doing for the last 18 months is stupid, what do you do? No, most of you are like, oh, okay, and just keep doing what you're doing. I was like, what do I need to do? He's like, I just acquired a company called YouTube. Are you familiar with them? I'm like, yes, I am. Totally lying my ass off. Of course I am. Yes. Yes. I'm going to get on that tube thing. Yes. Okay, good. Right? 30 days later, I got a flick video camera, and I'm doing flip videos. Still on my YouTube channel today. You with me on this? So here's what I want you to write down. This is what I want you to get. Ready? From Google and Cisco, 2 pretty reliable sources, 80% of the world's content will be on video by 2019. 80% of the world's content on video by 2019. You with me? Everything is video first now. Everything is video first. Who's on Facebook? Who can remember saying, why would I go on Facebook? That's just stupid. Yeah. I got a toaster because I got you on. Right? Because in like 2008, I'm like, Facebook, this is awesome. Everybody's got to do it. And people are like, what? Why would I tell people I've gone away on vacation? They're going to steal all my stuff. You guys remember all those stupid conversations? It's so funny how we all change, right? So how about this? Facebook came out and said 100% of Facebook's content will be video only by 2019. Now, how many of you, like, did you watch my last episode of the Tom Ferry Show, 132? So none of you? Awesome, thanks. So 4 of you, awesome. So here's the deal, right? If you pay attention, Facebook changed their algorithm now about 18, 19 months ago, where you used to, remember like you would like go, hey everybody, I have a question, and you'd get like a ton of answers. You do that today and you get like 3 answers. There was a time when you would post a listing, which is a link off of Facebook, which they don't want. You guys with me on this? They want them to stay on Facebook. You go, here's my new listing. You get comments and likes and hearts and all this stuff. And today you post that, you get no comments, no likes, no views. Unless you put your credit card in and hit boost, then you're paying to play, which is what they want. But what happens when you hit the live button on your phone? Do you guys know the live button? Oh, it's live? Oh, is that what it is? Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. You hit the live button on your phone and you go, hey, what's up? I'm at a Tom Ferry event over in Toronto, networking with 500 of the best agents from all over Canada. And we're working on basically 2 things. Number 1, our negotiation skills. Because at the end of the day, I'm being hired to negotiate on behalf of my customers, whether it's the buyer that wants the best possible deal or the seller who wants to sell their home in the fastest time for the most money possible. So I'm here networking, working with all these amazing agents. Plus, I'm finding out what all the best agents are doing in terms of marketing. Now, if you guys think I'm making that up, those are the 2 most important reasons when somebody hires you, what they're looking for. Marketing and negotiations. So while you're here, should you not hit the live button and let everyone you know what you just did for the last 3 days? You don't want to say, I've been role-playing. They'll be like, what? Right? But if you say, I've been working on my negotiation skills to help my buyers and to help my sellers, and I'm working on marketing and I'm finding out what everybody else is doing so I can take it back and serve my clients at a higher level. And that's what I'm committed to. You end that video and guess what happens? You watch that little bar of how many views, how many impressions, how many comments. Oh, you're in Toronto? Where? Oh, the film festival's going on. Did you see? You're like, no, we're definitely not actually in Toronto. But they say it's Toronto, but we all know we're not really in Toronto. So do you think Facebook wants you to be on video? What do you guys think? Okay, so do me a favor. Turn to your buddy and say video first. Video first. Look your buddy right in the eye and say, Facebook rules the day. Facebook rules the day. But let me give you a little side note. Write this in your notes. Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, has 4 times the interaction. 4 times. Hey guys, the average person spending 283 minutes a day, 283 minutes a day on Instagram. That's like 4 hours. That's insane. And it's just like this. It's like you got 2 seconds, you're like, Instagram, oh, I wish I was that person on vacation. Right? Like that's what it is. Well, I don't like Instagram and I don't like Facebook. Well, you chose a weird time to be selling real estate. Because no one cares what you like or what you don't like. You got almost 2 billion people now on Facebook, guys. Almost 2 billion. We only have 7.5 billion people on the planet. 2 billion, and they're not done. You with me on this? Who knows Ren Ren? Who's Chinese in the room? Ren Ren? Okay, so Joe Shin was just in my office. The 49th richest person in all of China, right? Just bought a company that I helped create a couple years ago, and super cool guy. 45-ish years old, nerdy as all get up, but really gets social media. And he was showing me Ren Ren. Ren Ren was way ahead of Facebook, right? It's their version of Facebook in China. It's ridiculous, and it's all video, and it's almost all live video. And it's not 14-year-old girls going, this is how I do my makeup, right? It's attorneys, it's everybody. Okay, so turn to your buddy and say, what's the most important point? What am I stressing here? Video. Say again? I can't hear you. Okay, so the gal on the last row did not move her lips at all and you're wearing glasses. I got you. I just want to make sure. I would have been that teacher in school, like, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Come on. Now, if you don't know what videos to shoot, that's the wrong question. If you go watch my episode that just came out on Tuesday, I break down an entire marketing calendar and a quarterly calendar of what you should follow. How's the market every single week? Quarterly, should a buyer buy in the first quarter, in the second quarter? What are the 3 mistakes to avoid, 5 things to do? All that it's all there for you. But that's the very first thing. And if you just do that, here's what I want you to get. You ready? Build your brand for future clients. Build your brand for future clients. This is what I want. Build your brand for future clients. By doing video, you're building your brand for future clients while you're educating your existing base. While you're educating your existing base. So I'm doing videos today for the 283,000 people that are on my email list, that are in my ecosystem. But I'm also doing it for the person that's going to get licensed in real estate 4 years from now. Does that make sense? So you're doing content today like 3 reasons why you should never list your home in December. When everybody else is promoting why you should list your home in December, you should actually say, there's 6 reasons why you should never list your home in December, but you should meet with your agent in late November to begin to position your home in January. You with me on this? While everybody else is trying to get it in December, you do the opposite, and people go, yeah, that makes sense, and they choose you. But I'm doing that video today, so in 7 years, someone goes, no, it'll probably be like this. They'll just go, what's the best time to list your home in the 4th quarter? And right in front of them, your video shows up. That's what I'm working on. So do me a favor, turn to your buddy and say, video first. Video first. Okay, so do you guys get it? Okay, so tell your buddy what you're going to do between now and the end of the year, video first. Tell your buddy. What are you going to do?
Video first.
But what does that mean?
It's going to be the top 3 things, 5 things, first quarter, monthly, what's going on in the market.
Video first. So I take a listing and I do a video first. You with me? Then I do my direct mail. Then I do all my other stuff. Video first. Video before flyers, video before mail, video, everything. Okay? All right, come back up here. Come back up here. All right. So number 2 point. You ready? Shh. Number 2 point. Number 2 point. Over-index on Facebook advertising. Over-index on Facebook advertising. Over-index on Facebook. Tom, do you own Facebook? I own shares, but I wish I owned the company. Wouldn't that be great? Do you have a solution that sells Facebook ads? No. I had one. I sold the company. Over-index on Facebook. We have clients today that are generating seller leads at $2 and $3 a lead. Seller leads for $2 to $3. Curious about the value of your home? Calgary. Have oil prices impacted the value of your home? And it's just a photo of a home sinking into oil. That ad got clicked on a lot. You with me on this? Who's in the high-end or luxury or condo market? Okay. White leather couch, dark-skinned woman, long dark hair, wearing an orange top on a white iPhone, drinking orange juice. Curious about the value of your home? Gets clicked on nonstop. But only in the high end and only in like condo markets, right? So do that like in Mississauga and no one's going to click on it. Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm on that. That's good. Yeah, white couch, dark-skinned girl, long dark hair, orange top, orange juice, white iPhone, white leather sofa. I'm a little nerdy. But guys, we spend $100,000 a month on Facebook ads. For a while, I was helping manage with all of our clients a couple $100,000 a month. When you start to look at the data behind it, and I want you to write this down, let's be very clear. You're only going to convert 2 to 3 out of 100 of the leads you generate. But if I can generate hundreds of leads at $2 to $3 and convert 2 to 3 with an average sales price of $500,000 all day long, but more importantly, what am I also getting? All those people, when they click on your ad, like my Facebook business page, that begins to grow. That creates more credibility with Facebook. Then I'm doing live video from my Facebook page. They're seeing the ad, they're seeing the video, and all of a sudden they're like, she's everywhere. I know some of you want to be secret agents, but I don't recommend it. Does that make sense? Yes? Question? That's good. Really loud. Yes, live video on Facebook.
Do you share it to Instagram? Because I know Instagram has their own story. So
No,
do you do live Instagram?
you got to go native. Now, I will tell you, so Google tonight, live streaming, multi-channel. Live streaming, so now, today, we'll use a professional, like $5,000 crazy camera, and with one app, I can go YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at the same time.
And that's Instagram like live or like
Instagram live.
Like stories.
So Insta, Twitter, the whole, and direct on YouTube, and all of them are live.
Oh.
It's crazy. Right? Now the thing you got to be mindful of, if you're on Instagram, it's way better to go, "What up, Insta?" You with me on this?
Okay.
Because it's native. And like Twitter, you have to be like kind of fast and efficient, right? Because it's Twitter, 140 characters, militant, right? And then on YouTube, it can just be anything goes. So you want to be like, I will do all four, but at my best, and the stuff that gets the highest response, by the way, is usually Saturday mornings in my car. It's bananas. Saturday morning in my car with my hat on, sweaty, coming out of the gym, sunglasses on, and I just go, "All right, guys, I've been thinking about something." And I just start talking to people, and those just blow up. You with me? The professional, "Hi, I'm Tom Ferry." That stuff, lighting is perfect. Tanks on Facebook. You with me? The best stuff on Facebook, literally, if I went like right now, which I'm going to do in the car, and I'm going to go, "Hey, everybody, I'm going to match donations for Hurricane Irma. So any one of you that clicks the link below, and I'll be in the car going to the airport shooting that live today. When I do that, that'll blow up." Make sense?
Yeah.
And it's in the car, and half the time they're just going, "Dude, put your seatbelt on." Like, it's funny all the time. Does that make sense? So you look at doing live broadcast, especially if you're going to do a show called This Week in Real Estate or This Month in Our Market, How's the Market, Here's What's Going On. Do a live broadcast. Hit all your channels, but everything else you want to do individual.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay, thank you.
Good question. All right. Next thing I wrote down. You guys ready? Oh, side note. How many email addresses do you have? How big is your, no, not your personal email addresses. How big is your email database? How big is it? Should you know? Okay, look up here, guys. I've been in marketing for a long time. I'm like 29 years into this. The single greatest driver of business right now, to this day, is still email marketing. And I'm shocked by how many people in this room We're so busy being enamored by the next tool that we forget about the one that's been around for 30 years that is a utility that every single person uses. You with me? So I would challenge, I actually wrote down for all of you guys, you need to focus on tripling the size of your email database. You need to be militant about, instead of saying call me and no one does, just say email me. You with me? Email me. And then you could say, hey, no problem, here's the answer to your question. By the way, I cover a lot of this stuff. Would you like me to email and keep you in contact, right? You got to get permission, obviously. But I would tell you guys right now, you should have 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people on your email list. Like if you want to have a really, really, really good business, think big. 4, 5, 7, 8, 10,000 people on your list, right? We have 283,000 double opt-in, like almost no people like opt out. Like it's super, super, super minute and small because we just bring them a ton of value. You with me on this? And you should be doing the same. That's a little side note. Okay, next thing, number 3. Write down to team or not to team. To team or not to team. And I'm just going to give you guys a little heads up. Team or not to team? Who's on a team right now? Raise your hands really high, really high, really high, really high, really high, really high. Oh, look, about 40% of the room. Who is not on a team? Raise your hands really high, really high, really high, really high. 24/7, 7 days a week, kind of hard to leverage yourself. Right or wrong? Okay? So I'm not telling you you need to start a team or that you need to be on a team and that you have to do that. I'm telling you that if you're considering it, there are 4 models you need to look at. 4 models. So I'm going to give you the 4 models. You ready? Model number 1 is the family business. Arguably the biggest team model in all of real estate. And they usually don't even refer to themselves as a team. They're just a family, right? Mom, dad, kid who went to university, living in the basement, unable to get a job, smoking weed and playing video games. You're now my buyer's agent, right? Like, here you go, right? Some of you in the room, they're like, oh, that's me, yeah. And I'm dead serious. But you know the trend we're actually seeing more of today? Doug Edrington, he's like down in like Tallahassee, no, not Tallahassee, like Nashville or something. And so this guy, and you know what he did? He hired both of his parents. Dad was like a car salesman. Dad, get in here. Dad's now selling 120 homes a year. Mom was like a secretary for like 500 years. Mom, come do my bookkeeping, manage. Doug's like 35, 36, running one of the most successful teams on the planet. We're actually seeing the reverse now, hiring the parents, not the parents hiring the kids. It's fascinating. Family business. There's a lot you can read on it. If you Google all my stuff, you'll see all kinds of content. Let me just give you the second one. You ready? The best team right now in my mind is the SEAL team. Now, SEAL team in the US, think Navy SEALs. And all that means is everybody is cross-trained to do every job. So my assistant can take listings. You with me on this? My ISA could also take a buyer out and close a deal. Everybody's cross-trained. We're a small team, highly efficient, super organized, very tight. You guys with me on this? And it's not about doing a bazillion deals. It's about doing it right and really taking care of the client. Like in the Navy SEALs world, it's like, everybody lives. No one dies. Everybody's happy. Let's go. You with me? The third type of team, the luxury team. Very similar, by the way, to the Navy SEAL team. The difference is they're adding way more marketing support. Because if you're going to be in the luxury market, the degree of separation always is, can you market yourself and your listings more effectively? And by the way, how do we market? What is our answer to marketing? What do we do? Video first. And every luxury agent will tell you it's video, 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 video. Videos never sell the houses. Video gets come list me calls. That's what happens. They go, oh my God, I watched like 3 of your videos, all those rock star houses. Come list our house and do that video. The last team though, which is arguably one of the big trends right now, is the super team. The super team. We have clients today like one of our RE/MAX guys over in Minnesota who has like 120 agents on his team already. Yeah. And there's only 1,100 RE/MAX agents in the entire state, and 120 are on his team. And no, he's not a broker. He is partnered with his broker to put this whole thing together, and he's got an office here, location there, agents here, all over their marketplace, and it's only about one thing. Can we build a service support center that enables our salespeople to go be highly productive and take care of our clients at a certain level? Like, that's the game. Now, there's no wrong way to do it, but I'm going to tell you this, guys, what you don't want to do in a 2017 environment with this much opportunity in front of you in terms of finance, right, is to reinvent the wheel, right? So go online, do your research. If you need support, you can email us. We've got documents, and we'll send you, here's all the org charts, here's how you pay them, here's how you train them. All that stuff's available. We'll give you all that stuff for free. The key, though, is you got to decide if you're going to do that. If you're going to be a solo, independent, single agent, I call that you need to be the no-team team, which means you need to get your broker, your loan officer, all of the supporting functions in your business completely on board with your goals and ambition, and you've got to find an agent in your office so when you go on vacation, they run the shop for you. And if you don't have that, you'll just be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on that rat rail, and it gets kind of old after a while, right, guys? Yes? By the way, when was your last vacation? Yell it out loud. What month did you go? Okay, so what happens every time you go on vacation? Right? The phone rings, your stale listing sells, your buyers come out of the woodwork. So most of you should be thinking, I got to book a vacation a month, like every single month, because you'd sell way more real estate. Absolutely. Especially if you pay for the tickets, non-refundable. Right? Then it's like an automatic. All right, so I just wanted to share that, and then we're going to do a bunch of Q&A, but I got to give you guys one tiny little tip. You ready? Write down the website, well, first of all, who's on LinkedIn? Oh, look, all of you. How many of you are familiar with selling to people's DISC personality? How many of you are familiar with the DISC assessment? Who knows their DISC assessment? Like, are you high D, high I, S, C, right, all that stuff? So I have been nerding out for the last 48 hours on a site called Crystal Knows. Crystal, like CRYSTAL, and then knows like KNOWS. Crystal Knows. So what if I told you a couple nerdy nerds took the DISC formula, wrote an AI language pattern that looks at your LinkedIn profile and tells me with 85% accuracy exactly your DISC profile before I call you? It's insane. Right? So guys, when I flew here yesterday, I was just like going through my 8 bazillion contacts on LinkedIn and like, okay, how well do I know Thomas? Okay, Thomas, boom, yep, okay, got it. He's high influence. But then it says, here's what motivates him. Here's how you communicate to him. These are the things that are important. This is your pace with them. Gives you all of that stuff. Is that a good thing for prospects? What do you guys think? Like before every listing appointment? Yeah. And not everybody, I mean, LinkedIn's only like 350, 400 million people on it, but most professionals that you're talking to, that's a really sexy way to bond and connect with them very quickly because you know exactly who they are. Does that make sense? So that's just a little side note bonus. Nerd out on it. I paid the $49. You'll see it's free, paid, or enterprise. You can try free. I did it a little bit. I'm like, nah, that's good, but the pay's got to be better. It's like $49. I'm like, it's like addicting. Because I'm literally going to every single person I know, trying to guess and then look and then send them an email in the right language, and it's super fun. All right, I'm a nerd. I can't help it. All right, let's do some questions. What's on your mind? What are you thinking about? Coach, you got a question over here? All right, and anything goes, and I only have about like 15 minutes, and I have to like make a flight, or that would be bad.
With all the discussion about teams,
yes.
How does a single agent decide when he or she is ready to start a team? I've always been told that until you have enough business that you're so busy you can't handle it yourself, you don't start a team. But it seems like everybody is either on a team or starting a team. Are they all superstar agents making, so much money that they can't handle it themselves, or is the team just becoming organically created?
The trend today is more so the realization that real estate is a team sport, and I'm 3 days in real estate, and I need a team. Like, that's more the trend today. It's not like a millennial thing, because there's a lot of like, oh, the millennials, they all want to belong to something, and I'm like, whatever. They're just humans trying to figure shit out. They were just over-babied, right? Right? Some of you are like, what do you mean? So I would flip it on you, and I would say ambition drives building a team. So if my ambition is I don't want to work 7 days a week, that I want to build a repeatable and scalable business, and I'm a team player. I like team sports. I like being surrounded by like-minded, fun people. When I started my company, literally, I called my wife, and I'm like, hey, baby. I'm like, we're starting. And she's like, oh, that's great. She's like, honey, I was thinking like we could move one of the cars out of the garage and you guys could like throw some, desks in there. And I was like, desks? And that's where the cars go. I just hired 11 people and leased like 3,000 square feet from the devil. She was like, what? Like, you hired 11, like day one, 11 people, $50,000 a month payroll. Let's go. You know what that's called? Motivation. So okay, good question. So are those teams set up where the team lead is doing all the lead generation? It's actually different today, right? The old model is I generate all the leads and I dole them out to you and you haphazardly close some of them. The new model is I'm going to teach you how to fish. We're going to do it together. Let's do open houses. Let's do geographic farming. Let's handle whatever lead sources we're working on, but we're doing all that stuff together, and I'm going to mature them up into great business people, and they're not buyer's agents. We all list and sell real estate, but what we want is that togetherness on the team and the synergy and the camaraderie and the co-training and all of the support. The simple answer is 50-50. That's the simple answer. But a lot of teams now are going to, they keep 60 and they pay out 40. And would it shock you to hear that even in places like high-end, Newport Beach, Calgary, all over the place, that model is working over and over again. Now, it doesn't work for I sell 3 homes a year and I want a 95% commission split. It doesn't work for that agent. It works for the person that's like, I want to sell 15, 18, 20 homes a year, 30 homes a year, and what I want is I want to be a part of something, and I want to be able to take time off and know that the business is going to be taken care of, and that I'm not going to be a slave to it. Does that make sense? So it's just very interesting. Price is never the issue unless the person's world is price. You with me? And that person usually doesn't sell a lot of houses. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. Question.
So you build up your database.
I'll repeat this. Oh, real loud. Thanks, Coach. You build up your database.
With email addresses.
Yes.
What is the best way to hit those email addresses first with not scaring them away right away off the bat?
Okay, so first of all, don't hit them, because just metaphorically, that just doesn't sound good. Right? Like, how do I get these emails and then start hitting them? So the very best way that I would use is BombBomb. So do you guys know BombBomb?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not an investor. I'm pissed that I'm not an investor. Connor's one of my closest friends. He's the founder of the company. And so literally you get that email and you do this. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for, registering on my website. It's really great to get to know you. Sorry, Siri. Okay, Siri, thank you. And I shoot a quick bomb. And hey, I'd love to be able to educate you more and let you know what's going on in the market. Even if you've got 5 friends in real estate, by the way, if you're in Toronto and you don't have 5 friends in real estate, I'd assume you have no friends. So, let me know. And video, boom. And what do we love about BombBomb? The second they open the email, bing, I get notified. They watch the video, bing, I get notified. And, so can I put you on the list? Ask.
Send it out to each individual.
Hell yeah. Now, could you do an auto-populated every time so it's not, hi, Sarah? It's like, hey, thank you so much for coming to my website. It really means a lot to me. And I know the real estate space is crowded, but we really do things differently. We pride ourselves on client success and client experience, and we'd love to add you to our list. So please let us know if that's okay. And if it's not, no harm, no foul. We wish you all the best, right? And they're like, no, it's cool. Can you overproduce content? 1,000%, right? Listen, in 2007, 8, 9, it was full on ghetto. You with me? No microphones. I'd be standing in Chicago, and I would literally take a flip video. You guys remember flip video cameras? And I'd put the flip video camera like on the thing, and I had to do it fast because I didn't know how to edit. And I was the one that was doing it all, and I would go, hey, welcome to, and at that time, Life by Design, your place on life, for ideas, information, right? And people would be walking by, flies would land on me, and I would not stop, and those videos got watched the most. You with me? My client from Australia who jumped in the pool after showing a listing, that video, 1 million views. All of a sudden, everybody's like, hi, I'm the Aussie rockstar agent. Too much lighting, too much produced, sucked. Oh, can you produce too much content? No. Okay. No. Your clients will let you know. But also if you go, Once a week, I'm doing something on YouTube that's going to be emailed out as my weekly email newsletter or my open house coming soon. You know, you create that marketing calendar as we've done. Guys, if I told you how many emails we send every week, some of you are like, we know, we get your emails, right? Like, right? I mean, it's bananas, and yet we have a very low, like, unsubscribe, and we have a huge open rate, like monstrous open rate. So the answer is no. But you got to ask your clients, what's most important to you? What are your pain points? What are your concerns? What are your worries? You're constantly, like, did you see the thing I just posted on Facebook a couple days ago? It was actually yesterday. I did a survey, like, what are your biggest frustrations? What are your biggest challenges? And all my clients are telling me what I need to cover on the next few Tom Ferry shows. Ask your customers what's important to them and then deliver that. That's how you win. Cool? Questions? Talk to me. What's going on? What are you thinking about? Back row only. What's up, Smiley? Tell me your name.
Hi, I'm Shanda Simpson. And
Calling her Smiley was perfect. She's like, hi.
I
there.
know you asked for it. I'm here with my business partner, Tanya Simpson,
Hi.
who prefers to get me to ask the questions. So we do work on a lot of video, but
Good.
we'd have to admittedly say that we get stuck with over-analyzing.
Yeah.
And Tanya wanted to ask you.
What's the ideal length?
I want to go on a listening appointment with them. So what's important to you? Tanya, go ahead.
In regards to the length of the video, what's ideal?
Okay, so you do know all the studies that a goldfish has a 9-second attention span and a human being has 8.
Okay.
Yes,
6?
we've heard that this
It's gotten
training.
worse? Jesus.
I think it's 6 now.
Scary. So here's the thing. You ready? If your content sucks, people won't watch it. If it's good, so do you guys know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
I don't.
Okay, so Gary is a friend for 10 years. We were back and forth early on his stuff, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm looking at the numbers, like 3-minute shows, 5-minute shows. If I go to 10 minutes, doesn't work. And you know what he said to me? Do 25-minute shows, see what happens. So I just started testing 25-minute shows, and guess what? They blew up. They were shared more. Not every time, right? But the game is, ready? Some of your stuff, I'm stealing one of the lines from the summit, ready? Some of your stuff, it's going to be a donkey. It's going to suck. And some of it's going to be a unicorn. You with me? So if I was going to do a Facebook Live, I've done 1.5-hour Facebook Lives and gotten massive engagement and huge numbers. But I was like, hey, it's the new year, new you. I emailed my base and said, come and be a part of this. I'm going to help you set your goals in the new year. So it was huge, 500,000 views. I only have 130,000 friends on Facebook. That's good, right?
That's impressive.
Right? And then I've done stuff that's 2 minutes long. If it's 2 minutes long and it's Facebook Live, it's not enough time for people to go bing, 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 bing and get notified. So I found that like 5 to 10 minutes Facebook Live, unless it's like an interview or something very specific and I'm letting them know, if you're interested in this, you should watch. Okay. So you got to test it. Twitter, keep it short. YouTube, you can go 6-7 hours on YouTube. You can.
That's longevity. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. The key is test. Do you use Google Analytics? Okay, so good job. If you use Google, so you actually know the data. That's awesome. Question. I'll repeat it real loud.
About the open door knocking.
Okay, about door knocking.
Yeah, like what's the proper way and what's the frequency you should do door knocking?
Are we talking about a geographic farm, or are we talking about around listings and sales? Like
yeah, just sold and farming. Both.
Okay, so have you guys talked about geographic farming at all here?
Not yet.
Okay, so it's probably not, because this is not a like all the different market, it's what to say class, right? So geographic farming right now is the #2 lead source for the vast majority of our clients around the world. And surprise, surprise, direct mail works. Surprise, surprise. You with me? It's called Chinese water torture. Here's my mailer, 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 here's my mailer. Then they see an open house sign, then they see a Facebook ad, then they see a video, and here's my mailer, here's my mailer, here's my mailer, right? I was just talking to Josh Rubin, who is the #1 transaction agent in all of New York City, is my personal client. So Josh is having his best year ever. He's going to do about $7.5, $8 million in commissions, which you can't live on in New York City, but it's a good start. So 5.5 years, and by the way, Josh's disc profile, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly Josh. He's totally cynical. He needs all the data before he'll ever make a decision. That's what the little thing told me. So I'm like, Josh, does this sound like you? He's like, I'm not sure if that sounds like me. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm like, you're doing exactly what I'm. So with Josh, he's in New York City. You can't do knock on doors. We started with 2 farms, 264, 2 buildings with 264 units. First mailer went out, gets a come list me call, and he goes, "Why didn't you tell me to do this before?" I'm like, "Just wait, next 4 months, no calls." You with me? But mailing and mailing and mailing. Today, he mails to 91,000 apartments in New York City twice a month. Twice a month. How much does that cost? About $480,000 a year. What's his GCI? 7.5, 8 million. Is it worth it? I mean, if you gave me $1 and I'm like, "Here's 15 back," what would you do? Here's 10? Here's 1,000? And you would continue to do it until I was like, "Okay, you've taken all my money," right? Well, the good news about this, it doesn't take all your money. So door knocking is insanely great if you're doing Facebook ads, if you're doing open houses in the community, because then they connect the dots. You with me on this? But if all you do is knock on doors, around the world, this is what they think. You're like, "Knock, knock, knock," and they're like, "We're not interested. Whatever you're selling. Do you have Girl Scout cookies? Okay, get out of here. Like, otherwise, we don't care." But the combination, when they start to go, "Oh, we see you all the time. I got your direct mail piece. I got whatever you send, and I saw your open house. Oh, you sold the property over there. I saw you on this website." Then it makes a lot of sense because it's like me coming to Toronto. You watch the Tom Ferry show 35 times, and then I come in and I go, "Hey, what's up?" And it becomes human. Does that make sense? So I say you door knock with everything else because it creates that human stickiness. Cool? But you got to do all the other stuff, and it's video first. All right, I got time for one more question, and then I have to go get on an airplane. What's on your mind? What do you guys think? You guys got it all figured out? Oh, I'm nervous. Okay, all right. What about FSBOs and expireds? What about them? Do you guys still call them privates up here? Like, that's how long I've been in, like, the Toronto market. Like, I was here, like, in 1989. We called them privates. They're like, "What do I do about privates?" I'm like, "You're working with privates?" Like, not my privates. I'm married. Get away from me. Like, dating myself. So what about them?
What about FSBOs and expiry market? Like, how?
Listen, if you were one of my clients in Europe, like Germany as a country, 60% of every home is listed for sale by owner, right? And simultaneously listed by 7 or 8 different agents, all at different prices, all with different photos. Guys, it's like Europe is the best. Because if you're a good agent, you're like, "Oh my God, they all put all these for sale banners on the website, and all you have to have is a slight degree of separation. If I could show you a way that I could actually sell your home for 3 times faster with a little bit more, are you interested? Yeah." Right? All day long. So if you got them here, you should absolutely be working them. For the most part, the North American market, I mean, US and Canada, it's like 7 to 10% of the market. Right? In New York City, it's actually quite high. It's almost 11%. And they're like $2 and $3 and $4 and $5 million condos. It's crazy. Right? And all the smart agents, they all work them to death. So expireds, if you got them, you also got to remember like the legalese. Like Vancouver's different from Toronto, right? Like sometimes you can email, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can mail, and sometimes you can't. So you got to know your local legislation and all that stuff. But if you can go after them, man, go after them all day long. There's not a good agent on the planet that didn't work FSBOs and expireds at one point in their career. Yeah, absolutely yes. Question.
In 2014.
Tell them who, because we were just meeting. So yeah. Tell them where you're from.
I'm Yuthana from Montreal. So in 2014, I think at Palm Springs, Gary was there, right? Or 2013,
yes. Yeah. Well, he spoke first time in like 2008.
Yeah.
He
was charging less.
Yeah, yes, he was. $5,000 to $75,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, good price increase.
He was talking about Instagram's coming, but now
yes.
it's Snapchat. It's rolling the market.
Yeah.
Even my auntie or my older people that I know are on Snapchat. So what can we do to prepare that, and what is the strategy? Now you're seeing strategy of Facebook Live, but now I see all my people on Snapchat. So what to do?
Dude, listen. If your culture, like your peeps, your peer group is on Snap, be on Snap. But I'm telling you right now, like they're not getting the traction the way Instagram did. Have Zuck pulled off buying Snapchat, we would all be on Snapchat. And even though they're publicly traded, I think you should short the company. Just being like super straight. So my sister's on Snapchat. She's 31 years old. All of her friends, and like every now and then, she's a hairstylist, so it's all like, big fake boobs and, those kind of, photos. So Snapchat's great for her and for her peer group. But if I see it, I'm like, Jesus, it's my little sister. Like, what are you doing? So just saying. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know, like my kids are on Snap because they're like, hey, Dad, I can do whatever I want on Snapchat because it goes away. I'm like, no, it goes away into the storage. And then when I do my interviews, we access storage, and we're like, so you were on MySpace and you used to do LSD. Okay, got it. Like, because all that stuff's out there, so just be mindful. So I over-indexed on Snapchat right away, and then very quickly found that the vast majority of the people that I was talking to were not there yet. So I may hit it up hard again, maybe in 2018, 2019. Yeah, but you know your market. If it's there, you got to go. It's like if you're in Europe and you're not using, what's the platform for, China uses it, Europe uses it? WeChat, right? If you're not on WeChat, you're dead, right? So it's just know your market. Yeah, cool. All right, last question. I saw another hand over here, and then I got to bounce. I got you, and then sir. Real loud.
My question is, a lot of us are on teams.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
When you're on a team and you can't direct mail marketing, you don't go through the kind of going team and lead sources.
Okay, so first of all, that means you need to have a conversation with your team. So you said, so if I'm on a team, can I do all these things, or it feels like counterintuitive? Listen, the vast majority of the teams today will say, the really progressive thinking teams, you're on my team, you're on my team, you're on my team, you're on my team. You do a geofarm, you do a geofarm, you do a geofarm. We split the costs, co-branded, 2 faces, 2 phone numbers, but they're both Google numbers, so I track everything. So you just go back to your team lead and say, this is what we should be doing. Right? Be progressive. Think outside of the box, man. You with me? Now, by the way, you were here working on your selling skills.
Yes.
So you should build rapport first,
Yeah.
ask a bunch of questions, find out what's important to them before you just come in and go, we should do direct mail. Does that make sense?
Makes
Last
sense.
question.
Thanks.
What's the number one thing you would do on a daily basis?
Grab that.
What's the number one thing you would do on a daily basis to strengthen your mindset?
Smoke weed. Kidding. I just had to mess with him because he totally looks like he smokes weed. See, I get you. Dude, you go to Vancouver too, man. It's like everywhere. It's like everybody's smoking pot around here. Like, wow, like that's cool. The number one thing that I do is I follow my morning routine, right? So my daily gratitude, daily movement, daily push-ups. Like I just do a bunch of things that just make me mentally tough. And the difference is I've been doing it for like 3 decades. So when you do something for 3 decades, like I don't have to try and get positive. I don't have to try and find energy. It's usually like trying to go to sleep. It's the opposite. So, do the thing, have the power, man. Like, do you read? Do you do video? I do an hour of personal professional development every day. An hour. How much time are you spending? Think about it. Like, I get up, like this morning, right? I'm in the gym. Sandra Pike's like, hey. And I'm like, no, sorry. I got my headphones on, and I'm watching This Week in Startups because I'm studying a guy named Chris Sacca, who's one of the greatest angel investors ever. And I'm doing that while I'm doing my workout every day. So it's not one thing, right? You got to find what makes your heart sing. I like learning, right? It gets my blood going, gets me fired up, gets me like in a great mood, right? So, and once I get into something, I obsess on it and I study it like crazy. So that gets me going. Sex is good also. Just kidding. Weed and sex. He's like, it's all I needed. All right, good. All right. Okay. Last question. And I really do. What time is it?
22.
Okay. I have to go. Because the planes don't wait for you. No. Real fast.
I'm Tyson Brando. Just wondering what your thoughts are about blogs. So creating
Yes.
written content, how you would suggest promoting that and
Okay.
nurturing that.
Because what is it first?
Video.
Okay.
A video blog.
So take my model. I do the Tom Ferry Show. We email it out. It goes on YouTube, yes, but where do I drive you back to? Your website. My website. Because on my website, I have all of my calls to action. I don't have that on YouTube. This is like we worked for years on this. So the YouTube video is embedded in, but then you transcribe the video, so the whole thing's in text. Google goes, oh, video and text? You with me? Up in the search. And then it goes to Apple, SoundCloud, so podcast of everything as well. So one 15-minute video becomes 3 different, podcasts, like 5 different content plays all at once. That's the model.
Okay, great.
That make
Thanks.
sense?
Perfect.
And you email it out, and then what do? You put it on Facebook, you do short form versions on Facebook, on Instagram, you make it available on Twitter, you get your friends to share. If you look at what I do, it's exactly what I tell my clients to do. Right? I actually did an episode on it. It's like 53, 4, 5, and 6, where and my marketing team was pissed. What are you doing? You're sharing everything we do. And now I look around at some of my competitors, and they all do the same stuff. Good on them, man. I don't care. I'll keep innovating.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Me? So Tyler, do this. Tyler, right?
Tyson,
sorry. Do the same. All right. I have to bounce. So one last thing really quick before I go. Did you have fun? Yes. Okay. No. Video first. Yes. Lots of ambition. Yes. You with me? You have your number for 2020, right? Yes. Heads up. I want you to achieve that in 2019. Because most of you weren't thinking big enough. Most of you were not thinking big enough. All right? So last thing, I wish you and your family health and vitality, lots of love, have a wonderful finish to the year. You should all book between 40 and 60 appointments between now and the end of the year. And by doing that, guess how your January, February, March will be? Unbelievable. And while all the other agents are like, well, Thanksgiving's coming up and I got to start cleaning the house, you're taking listings and making sales and growing your business and taking advantage of what you did here. Does that make sense? Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for letting me share. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want more of this, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We have a number of events coming up, and we'd love to have you there. Visit tomferry.com/events and reserve your spot today.